we need to talk about Reece, don't we? Because he's had an extended period of not racing and injury and recovery. And I think things are going to be changing for him next year with the teams, I'm sure. And for him to come into this weekend and want to make a statement, he's also a really creative rider in terms of his line choice. I sometimes wonder whether Reece takes the alternative line for the sake of taking the alternative line. And it's like, hey, no one's going to do this, so I'm going to do this. But he adapted really well to the conditions. And in the morning practice, he crashed on a really strange section. He sort of missed, he came out of a berm just before it was the penultimate split 3. And to see, he sort of missed the turn and just went up into the bushes. And that was probably his last practice run. And then it absolutely pours your brain. And he was one of the riders that I think went back to a wet line. Just as you were mentioning earlier, before the very steep section, there was like a high and a low traverse. And he dropped onto the low and went through the rut and through the puddle and absolutely hosed down a marshal. I don't know if you saw that. It was really funny. He just absolutely
great clip.
Yeah, great clip. And I like the adaptability is just what you were mentioning. They must have been on the turbo trainer warming up and just shut their eyes and taken themselves to a place where they're visualizing, what do I need to do? Am I changing inside or outside? Am I going high or low? And these top riders, they almost don't need to practice, practically what they're about to do. As long as they can visualize in their head what's about to happen and they can see themselves doing it and go, yeah, I can see myself being able to do that. They can adapt really quickly. And I don't know Reece and I don't know his process, but from the outside looking in, I think he did that very well this weekend. And it was amazing to see he carried a lot of speed. He's been looking brilliant and confident this week and making some big gaps and jumps and hitting stuff early. And then for him to back that up, that's got to be just the best feeling to go. It sort of like, yes, I am able to do this. I have proved people wrong. I am back at the top. Fair play to him. That'd be really nice moving into Mont Saint Anne and probably gives him a little confidence for 2025 already. Just straight away, he's like, okay, cool, I can do this. I'm sorted.
Yeah, I mean, the emotion he showed on the podium, I mean, if one of the interviews he said he wasn't sure if he's going to race again, like, with that injury or maybe with keep getting knocked down with these other injuries like his shoulder. Like every time he felt back up to speed and trying to get confidence, he get knocked down with kind of an unlucky crash as well. So, yeah, I mean, you just always want to see guys with that sort of talent, with that work ethic, just the pure resilience that Reece clearly has. And most of these riders have that. But just to see it and then not to just get back in the mix, like to put it on the podium in tough conditions. Yeah, all credit to him, and that'll help him if things are changing from what you're saying. Like there are a lot of rider roster changes we're hearing about. There's potential changes to the structure of teams and all sorts of things. So it's really a good time to throw that result in. It's always great to have a result at the end of a year, especially if you're in a contract year, just regardless, if you're renewing or maybe going somewhere else. But it just makes me think back to between him, Benoît, maybe a Danny, who are very instinctual, are obviously very talented, and they enjoy riding in the mud. So if you're having fun, you're normally going well. If you're having fun on your bike and you're making do. But when you ride practice runs in Leger, in the steeps, I keep going back to where Benoît calls home, and he's there a lot. You could see it. It's like, you don't think about lines there. You're just riding on instinct, like, okay, I'm a little bit hot, get on the brakes, try get some exit speed. Okay, I'm not on a line now, but I know I got to get there. Like, you're just riding a lot more on instinct and sort of making it up as you go along. Yes, there's a plan. Yes, they're visualized. But I think they got on with it. They really did. Like, they focused on their exit speed. They focused on braking early before like the treacherous bits. And then some of those lines that these guys took, it was like, if you were able to commit and keep the momentum up, the track looked easier. And that's easier said than done from sitting here. Does that make sense?